So, a preacher was diagnosed with cancer. He was afraid to tell the church and scared that he had only a few months to live. So, he prayed fervently, and 2 weeks later, he went back to the hospital. And he and the doctor were both surprised because the cancer was gone. He was surprised because he did not expect that God was going to answer his prayer in that manner. Until today, God still answers prayers. Let's look at Acts chapter 12, verse 12 to 19. And when he had considered the thing, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. This is Peter that the Acts is talking about. He was captured by King Agrippa I, and in Mary's house, that is John Mark's mother, the believers were gathered together interceding for Peter to be released. And after he was released, he went to where they were gathered together praying. In verse 13, and as Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a damsel came to hearken, named Rhoda. And when she knew Peter's voice, she opened not the gates for gladness, but ran in and told how Peter stood before the gate. This lady, Rhoda, she was surprised when she heard Peter's voice. She was so surprised that she could not even open the gate for him, but went back inside the house and told the rest of the believers what she saw. But they were surprised as well because they did not even believe her. In verse 15, they said unto her, Thou art mad. But she constantly affirmed that it was even so. Then said they, It is his angel. But Peter continued knocking, and when they had opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. The same way the preacher and the doctor was astonished, the same way the believers here were astonished, even though they prayed for it to happen. We do not know the scope, the manner, or the timing in which God could answer our prayers. So people are usually surprised when the answers to their prayers come. This narrative, it teaches us that prayer should not be our last resort, but the first response to every challenge in our lives and the church. Prayer must be used as a sustained rapid response mechanism to life emergencies. God answers prayers in terms of scope, timing, and how it is achieved can surprise us as it did the believers in the text today, in Acts today. They really were surprised. It's the same way it can also surprise us as well. So let's look at what Peter's actions were that is also instructive. But before then, many of you might ask, but I'm praying for such a thing, and maybe God is not answering my prayers and the rest. The thing is, we should pray according to God's will for us. We should pray according to His will because His timing is different. We don't know what He is protecting us from. Instead, if we have unanswered prayers, we should give thanks to God. We should thank the Lord in all things because we don't know. Because His plans for us are of good and not of evil, to give us an expected end. So we should not be angry when we do not have a response to our prayer, but we should pray to God that it should be according to His will and His purpose for us. So let's look at Peter's actions in verse 17. But he, beckoning unto them with the hand to hold their peace, declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. And he said, Go shew these things unto James and to the brethren. And he departed and went into another place. And as soon as it was day, there was no small stir among the soldiers what was become of Peter. The guards, they were so surprised. It was not a small stir, it was a big one that was happening. They were, how did he disappear with all the soldiers guarding him? What happened? Who released him? And when Herod had sought for him and found him not, he examined the keepers and commanded that they should be put to death. And he went down from Judea to Caesarea and there abode. You can see that Herod was so angry that he demanded that the guards should be put to death and even left Caesarea, Judea, and went to Caesarea for a short time because of shame that his plans was futile. So Peter's action after his release is very instructive. He hushed the jubilant believers. He told them to hold their peace because they were happy, they were astonished. They shout for joy. But he told them to hold their peace, and he did not stay in Mary's house, but went to an undisclosed location. He didn't want to attract undue attention or put other believers at risk. Given that Herod was so mad at Peter's escape from custody, killing the guards, and having to leave town to cool off his humiliation, it would be unwise for Peter to go about bragging in the name of unwise testimony and risking a rearrest. So, wisdom is indeed profitable to direct. We should be like Peter. This passage has so many things to learn from, so many messages, so many things that we can learn from it. We should be like Peter. We should be like the believers who were interceding. We should be wise. Astounding testimony of sensitive answered prayers must be shared with wisdom. May the Lord bless the reading of His word today in Jesus' name. Amen.